This Sunday, the music world will celebrate the 65th Annual Grammy Awards, and there's no Vancouver Islander who knows the Grammys better than David Foster. He's won 16 of them. CHEK's Patty Pitts spoke to the hitman hours after he won one of his first Grammys for Producer of the Year and had this report.
And the award for Producer of the Year goes to... It's a tie.
Whoa!
David Foster and Lionel Richie and James Anthony.
When Victoria-born David Foster was announced as the co-winner of the Producer of the Year Grammy last night, it was the recording industry's endorsement he had reached the top in one of the most competitive of professions. Foster's climb to Grammy status started early, and last night, before a capacity crowd in Los Angeles, he recalled those roots.
There's a lot of people I have to thank. My family up in Victoria, British Columbia.
Yeah, I spent my first 16 years in Victoria and took classical piano lessons from age 5 to age 13 with a lady named Catherine Dash, who still is on Quadra Street there, and so I certainly owe a lot to her. And it was at that point, at age 16 actually, is when I left Victoria and went to England.
The young Foster had to get his mother's permission to join the band that left Victoria as Bobby Falls and the Strangers, but became the Canadians when they toured overseas. Foster played keyboards, developing the style that eventually made him a top session musician in Los Angeles. Back in 1967, he was in the band that backed Chuck Berry during a rock riot, when the four men in the audience were boyhood idols.
We were there playing, and the Beatles were there, all in their Sgt. Pepper outfits. And now that I'm, all these years later, producing Paul McCartney, and I've talked to him about that, and he does remember being at that concert that night. It's really kind of a 360 for both Paul and I. It's been kind of, in a lot of ways, a textbook case. It's just a grad, from going from musician to arranger to songwriter to record producer. And gee, I'm watching a video right now of me and Lionel walking up getting our award, and boy, are we excited. Really neat. Great.
Island Rewind, brought to you by Drain Pro Plumbing. 24-hour emergency plumbing, nights, weekends, whenever.